All right. Let's do this. Back at you again with another episode of Two Plant-Based Brothers. I am William, the teacher. This is my brother.
Daniel Nowotnik, Beard on the Trail.
Very good, Daniel. Very interesting uniform you have on.
Yeah, this is my jersey. You like it?
Does it say
Yeah,
Deutschland or something?
yeah, Deutsche Fußballbund. hmm
Okay.
Yep. So,
Why?
my German national team shirt, jersey, if you will. Right. I don't know why. I'd be possibly wearing something like this this time of year. Any idea?
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about it's June 12th, I think.
Yeah.
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 Is it June 12th?
World Cup has begun, my
Are you
friend.
serious? No, there's some
Yes, it has
friendlies and stuff.
begun. I'm
Not the
so
real stuff.
excited. The real stuff, right? No more friendlies. It's on. As of this recording, the first match would have already been played in Mexico City, and then Germany's going to play later this weekend. So I'm super excited. I have two teams. I don't know if we've talked about this, but it looks like you're going for Team Canada, right? All right. I have two teams. I have the U.S. national team, which I follow, excited about, but I'm not optimistic about them. They had a really nice friendly against Senegal, which was great. Came out with a win. I'm just not that, bought in that they can make a deep run in the tournament, but you never know. Home
Yeah.
soil, anything can happen. So my second team has always been the German national team. As you know, I studied abroad in Germany,
Yeah.
2006, during World Cup, where you got to visit me.
Yeah. That's when my one and only trip to Germany was in 2006, and we didn't actually get into any of the matches. But
Yes.
we not you, but my older brother, Buddy Vitale and Ruggles, we cruised around Germany, and then we met up with you in Berlin at the end.
Yep.
And we were able to stay outside of a couple different matches. Like outside, they would have this fan
Mhm.
fest and things like that. A lot of fun. And no matter who or whom the U.S. was playing, the Germans were all rooting for the other team. So it was pretty cool.
No, I don't
Yeah,
believe that. That's
true
not my
story.
memory. That's not
Yeah,
my
I mean, I
memory.
still have a picture of some graffiti that says FUSA. So
Yeah.
yeah, we were not so welcome, but everyone was very friendly. The whole world was together, and it's a wonderful time usually.
Yeah.
But I kept switching my favorite teams as they kept losing, and no matter whom I switched to next, they lost the next match. So
I'm assuming you finally switched to Germany when they lost in the semifinals.
that would be when, yeah, I actually have a not
Darn
quite
you.
as nice, some kind of like replica cheap German jersey that I wore underneath my American flag cape.
You still
So
have that?
it's somewhere in the closet, I'm
Wow.
sure.
Yeah, you got to
Yeah,
bust it out 20 years later. It's that 20-year anniversary of me studying abroad.
unbelievable.
Right. Isn't that
Unbelievable.
crazy? So I'm
That is
super excited. So, like you, I was not able to get into a match during that time. I was a college student. This time around, I'm going to one. So I think I've shared before, going to see Germany play Curacao in Houston. So really excited about that.
all right. Well, as some of you folks know, that this episode is not about World Cup.
What?
It's actually we got to dive into the kind of thing we're going for, and it was an interesting thing we based off a conversation we had at another time, and things we kind of talk about often. As two plant-based brothers, and Daniel's mentioned different things as far as if he has a craving for a
hmm
steak, he's going to eat a steak. But this, I thought it'd be interesting to dive into things that we will never eat again. And
hmm
I must preface this by saying, never say never. You never know where life is going to take you. I think that's one of the things that gets a little dangerous, especially for some people like me, living through sobriety and being kind of flippant or very, I don't know, cocky about the fact that I'm never going to drink again,
hmm
but knowing that that could happen and the kind of detrimental effects it would have. But I don't really have cravings for a lot of the stuff that we're going to talk
Yeah.
about anymore,
Okay.
but you never know what happens in the future.
All
So
right.
at this point in our lives, I think we can kind of confidently say with 90% positivity that things we're never going to eat again. So Daniel, why don't you just start off with something that you're never going to eat again?
Yeah, no, I feel pretty confident about this. Like you said, the first one I'm going to share is actually probably something, and I wouldn't say a craving, but when I think of it, it's a craveability, like that kind of comes up ahead because it's something that I remember growing up with. Extremely tasty, fatty, greasy. Don't know if you can think of the animal that I might be hinting at, but it's bacon.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
yeah.
I feel pretty
But
darn
you're
confident.
pretty confident that you're not going to
I'm
ever
never
eat
gonna
bacon
eat
again.
pork again. And so pork in general, right? And I
Yeah.
think the most craveability of pork is that bacon, that crispy, crunchy, salty, greasy, delicious bacon that it was. And it's probably still is for a lot of people.
It probably still is. I couldn't say for sure.
Right?
But I've often said this, and this will kind of get into the foods I talk about, is that there's really no fake in bacon.
There isn't.
I
No.
haven't found a replacement for it, but I used to work in the restaurant business, and every morning we would cook lots of bacon
Hmm.
for sandwiches and then crumbled up on top of pizzas or whatever,
Hmm.
on top of baked potatoes.
Yeah.
The bacon had to be cooked in the morning, and then you reheat it when you add it on the burger or whatever.
Right.
And I took great pride in having to taste it to make sure that it
Yeah.
was okay before we moved on
Right.
and as the bacon tester. And then there were those Lents where I basically went pescatarian. I consider myself vegetarian for
Hmm.
Lent, but I was still eating seafood. And staying away from that fresh cooked bacon in the
Yeah.
morning was the hardest thing.
Yeah.
So,
And
yeah, I don't know.
the smell still kind of gets me as like a craving, right? So
Mm-hmm.
my wife will occasionally make it. I know my in-laws will make it when I'm over there when they're having, whatever they're doing for breakfast or something like that. So I'll smell it. I'm sure mom will put it on when we've stayed at her place previously. But yeah, it's just one of those things. I think pork and it stemmed from I believe it was the What the Health documentary, if I'm
Okay.
not mistaken, where they kind of give you the behind the scenes of the slaughterhouses of pigs. And I think that's the mental part I can't get past just when it comes to pork. I mean, we talked about kind of beef being its own separate thing. I think for me, though it's still murder, but ever way you shape it. So I also feel confident I'm likely not going to eat a steak anytime soon. But yeah, pork, I feel pretty darn good. I'm never going to touch again.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to be as confident as you are, but I'm fairly confident that that's something that I
Mhm.
won't do again. But I'm going to bring in something that I won't eat again.
Okay.
And I think if you talk about a lot of things on my list, it's because that there's such an amazing array of replacements
Okay.
for things, such as a hamburger. I see
Mhm.
no reason to eat a beef hamburger or a
Yeah.
bison burger
Okay.
or a camel burger or a
Yeah.
crocodile burger or one of these.
Alpaca.
Yeah, no, I don't because there's plenty of different veggie burgers, black bean burgers, Beyond Burgers, Impossible
Hmm.
Burger, all of them. To me, I've probably said this before, but one of my favorite things about a burger is the lettuce, tomato, onions, and unfortunately cheese.
Hmm.
Those things are the ones that really makes a burger for me, and it doesn't really matter what else is in there, and it could have, you know, chicken, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Right.
I don't see any need to eat a animal burger.
Yeah, I like that. Because it's almost the opposite of mine, where there really isn't a substitute whatsoever.
Yeah, that's
Because
why
there
I thought it
is so
was.
many
Yeah,
substitutes, you're willing and wanting to avoid that at all costs. I love that. I think that's great. I would get on that bandwagon too. I have no need and want, desire to eat a regular beef burger and or any other kind of meat
yeah,
burger because there are so many good alternatives, I think. I like that.
yeah. And I think often, unless you really know what you're doing, a lot of burgers that you eat or you need to dress them up really well. You
Honestly,
know,
the condiments I think are what make a burger, right? You do
yeah.
need a tasty patty, right? So and
Hmm.
not and juicy and this is meat, non-meat, right?
Yeah,
Doesn't you don't want the thing be burnt, right? So you do need a juicy, flavorful, but yeah, the condiments I think go a long way for me in a burger.
yeah. There's one thing a word that you just kind of triggered me is juicy,
Juicy.
because there was I used to watch, I still watch a lot of Food Network, not a
Uh-huh.
lot, but I used to watch a lot more. And there's this burger that they make in Minnesota called the
Mhm.
Juicy Lucy,
I
and I always wanted to go there and try it,
yeah.
but I gave up meat before
Yeah.
I made it there. And but I've been there several twice since
Yeah.
then, and I haven't sought out that Juicy Lucy.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking maybe I'm wrong about this one because
I didn't did I not tell
living
you that
life
I
without
had a
ever trying a Juicy Lucy, I don't know, man.
did I not tell you that? I thought I did. I had a Juicy Lucy when I was in Minnesota after you guys left.
Maybe you did tell me that.
I had the vegan version of it though.
Okay, so there's a vegan Juicy Lucy.
Oh, and it was unbelievable. It was Fat Boy special. Like it was so
Mm.
good.
Well, then if there is a nice plant-based Juicy Lucy, I might head back to Minnesota to get
I'll
that.
tell you the place I went to, and I didn't even go. I ordered it in because I didn't want to go walk half an hour to get it. So I ordered in, and it was really great. And it came still nice and hot. Like it was delicious. I really pigged out that night.
Yeah. And if you guys don't know what a Juicy Lucy is, they take one patty, basically put
Mhm.
cheese in the middle and put another patty on top. So when
Mhm.
you bite into it, you get this molten cheese
Yeah,
just
yeah,
but there are plant-based alternatives. So
right. For both, right? The cheese and the meat. So I was
yeah.
quite happy. Yeah, because
Yeah. So
I do
what's
remember that same episode
yeah.
or episodes of probably Guy Fieri on
Yeah,
Diners,
it's
Drive-Ins,
probably
and
diners, drive-ins, and dives, triple
Dives.
D's. Anyway, what's next on your list?
Next one, you kind of mentioned it too, of like an alternative to a patty, I think, but it's chicken, and it's the
Mhm.
same kind of camp as pork for me. Chicken, just I can't get past I don't know, the slaughtering of such animal that I feel pretty confident, and I think apart from maybe fried chicken, chicken really never did it for me. You know, like
Mhm.
I remember being on health kicks and doing like the chicken breast, right? Doing that with a lot of meal prep and stuff when I was working out heavily, and doing like a lot of those workout routines. But and like you really have to, it's just flavoring it, right? It doesn't have any natural flavor to me that I think is like, oh, it's so desirable that I want to have a chicken. But fried chicken, I think is so, whatever, satiating in the mouth. But you can fry mushrooms, and which I have, fried
Mhm.
tofu. You can fry a lot of other things that I think you get the same kick, the same, whatever feeling in the mouth of it. So yeah, chicken, I feel pretty confident. Yeah, no desire to eat.
Yeah, and once again, that's on my list because
Cool.
I feel that there are so many different alternatives to it that
Mhm.
you don't need it. I think
Yeah.
there's a couple things that I was never a big eat off the bone kind of guy,
Hmm.
but for some reason at a previous restaurant I used to work at, they had these wings that were just filled with what kind of who knows
Yeah.
um, preservatives and things like that.
Hmm.
That I would often not steal, but I would take. As a
Yeah.
manager, I had to build a call it my meal, right? And I had a certain amount of money I could take with me, right? So I would take
We get
these.
it. You weren't stealing
Yeah, I
them.
wasn't stealing. So I would take these wings and marinate them at home
Uh-huh.
with probably just a little oil or soy sauce, garlic, crushed red pepper, and then grill those for my daughter's birthday parties. For
Mhm.
years, I would do
Yeah.
this. Madeline's birthday parties, August birthday, always done at the Bay
Yep.
until we couldn't drink at the Bay anymore. Then we moved it to Kate Sessions Park, and then couldn't drink at the park anymore. So
Just kept
we moved
moving with
on
the
from there. But those grilled wings, I remember they were just so good. And then I
Mhm.
stopped working at that restaurant, and other wings to me just weren't as good. They're
Yeah.
probably more natural, and that's the problem. But other than that, I mean, fried chicken, yeah, I would tear that up. When mom used to make that fried chicken, I don't
Mhm.
know if you remember the casserole pan with just the tons of grease that ends up at the
Yeah.
bottom. But to me, the breading's the favorite part, my favorite part.
Correct. And not even it's not the meat. And for me, the
Exactly.
wings, my favorite part of wings is the sauce, right? It's not only
Yeah.
the sauce that's on the wings, you were probably like grilling and then you dip in them, but if it's
Yeah.
buffalo wings, for example, it's the
Yeah.
buffalo sauce in the ranch, which
Yeah.
both can be made vegan and
Yeah.
equally delicious. And so I've done my own tofu wings, right? Equivalent.
Mhm.
That have come out really good. And I just love Frank's Red Hot sauce. And then you mix it with like, if you do it, like you're just gonna mix it with some vegan butter, right? Which isn't the
Mhm.
greatest for you, but it gives you that same effect. Again, the same tastiness.
Yeah. And for anyone out there who really loves ripping flesh off a bone, you're
Yeah.
probably not going to find alternatives. So,
Yeah. Right.
you
I've seen them do that, but I'm like, I don't even need to take the time to do that.
are you
Like
serious? They
where
make
they
literal
mold
bones?
like I don't know if it's like Guardian, Garrity, whatever that what is that company called? Like the one that makes the fake meat or whatever. It's like starts with a G. Anyways, I've seen people take like that and then put it like on something that it's like kind of like it's not a bone, but it's like something that they would kind of wrap it around to make it feel like you're eating wings, something like that. But who needs that? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. So that's for me. I'm right there with chicken,
Yeah.
and I'm kind of get into another thing, kind of in that same category is chicken fried steak. And
Okay.
the
Yeah.
reason I bring this up is because this used to be my favorite. We talked. I think we talked. I mentioned maybe a little bit in the mom
Mhm.
episode when I talked about grandma used to make this chicken fried steak before you
Yeah.
probably, or maybe before your teeth came in.
Mhm.
You may have been
I,
around, but
I do remember it. I just don't know if grandma was making it or mom was making it.
yeah. And man, that stuff is great, but you don't need the cow in there to make
No.
that. And once again, it's
No.
about the flavor of the breading. And you could
Mhm.
bread anything,
Right.
honestly, and you can make a good gravy plant-based too. You
Hmm.
don't need it. Whatever sausage fat probably is a good way to make a country style gravy.
Right.
And guess what? You can there's other ways around it
Right.
and you don't need it. So
Completely.
that's what I'm going with. What do you got?
So I don't know my last one here. I think kind of it's a big area and it covers a lot of different types of food, but it's dairy. Like I feel really good about never having dairy again. I don't think I was ever or am lactose intolerant, but I do know a lot of people are. There's just something that I now where I'm at in my life and my own head mentally of like. I can't grasp myself to get around of like drinking cow's milk. Like it just makes no sense. Like why are we having cow's milk? And so I just can't. And I'm like, I'm good without it because again, like our little theme here, there's so many good alternatives. Now, almond milk does not taste like milk. Oat milk does not taste like milk, right? Nothing really does, but it tastes good. Right? I like the way almond milk tastes. I like the way oat milk tastes, especially. And so the only kind of weird thing that I guess I could miss, it's not weird, but I guess I could miss is like cheese. But it's hard to find, and maybe there are some good alternatives. I haven't tried enough of them because I haven't been looking. But other like cheeses, and I'm thinking kind of like the charcuterie board type cheeses where you cut it and you
Oh,
just eat it
yeah,
by itself. Because when it
yeah.
comes to like nacho cheese, melted cheese, I think that you can find easy alternatives. I've made a few of the recipes myself that
Mhm.
come out really delicious, and so I don't really need the cheese other than like if I were doing a charcuterie board, and how often do I do that? And I think there are good alternatives. I just haven't tried them because they're a little more pricey. So I haven't gone down that route. So
Yeah,
so
and
dairy, I'm good.
I definitely want to correct your pronunciation of
Oh yeah.
charcuterie board,
Yeah,
but
thank you. I knew it wasn't going right.
I'm
I
afraid I didn't
tried.
say it exactly correctly. So
And
I
I
believe
and I
it's
felt like saying it,
charcuterie.
oh, let me do it two or three more times before he can correct me.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean that this is where I'm at, right? And this is the reason why. This
Mhm.
is the sole reason why I'm not 100% plant-based is for um those situations. And like having a slice of pizza every now and then.
Yeah.
I do enjoy it. But there are places you can go where there are alternatives. For
Yeah.
example, Woodstock's Pizza, shout out to Woodstock's.
Whoop, whoop.
They have 100% plant-based pizzas that you can do with quote unquote vegan cheese.
Yeah. And they're
Um,
really good.
and they're good. It's good.
Yeah.
If you go back to 20 years ago, the plant-based cheeses weren't good. You couldn't
Trash.
find one that melted,
Yeah.
you know. And I think they've come a long way and there's good stuff. But sometimes I'm in a city or something, I'm looking for a quick or something to eat, and just going into a pizzeria and grabbing a slice or two is a really good thing. And I did that in Minnesota right in front of your face. I grabbed a slice and I ate it and it was the mushrooms were bomb and there it is. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not there yet,
Yeah. Fair. All right. So do
and
you have any other non never gonna eat again?
well, I think I'm on a roll here with the sausage. It's kind of mentioned it a little bit,
Mhm.
but I used to love. Okay, so Father's Day is coming up pretty soon,
Yep.
right? And who knows? Maybe we're foreshadowing to the next episode if you made it this far.
Perhaps.
But but Um, for years, right? Father's Day breakfast, my wife and kids would
Mhm.
prepare for me eggs, sausage,
Mhm.
and my favorite of all, biscuits and gravy,
Yeah,
right? With the sausage gravy.
it's gravy.
And that stuff, yeah, I kind of miss a little bit, but I
Hmm.
know that it can be made another way.
Yeah,
It can
true.
be. And I started getting on the plant-based sausages a long time ago. I used to love the Morning Star
Hmm.
sausage patties, and now that I'm older and I'm trying to stay away from processed things, is
Yeah.
I don't really buy those things much anymore. But
Hmm.
definitely for Fourth of July, things like that. When we go camping, we'll
Yep.
buy the gosh, what's the name of the brand? It's like Field something. But they make these sausages, bratwurst,
Yeah.
chorizo, different sausages that are good. I don't need a real sausage. I don't think I'm missing anything.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to a hot dog, I don't know if I've had a really good plant-based hot dog.
Yeah.
Um, Now, you mentioned, I think it was last week,
I
that the
have,
one
yeah.
in Texas.
I had one, a really great one at the Rangers Stadium. It was
Yeah,
so delicious. And it was the bun that honestly made it. Like it was
yeah,
like a soft bun. It wasn't just like your standard hot dog bun. It was a completely 100% plant-based cart. So they
yeah,
had hot dogs, they had nachos, they had all sorts of options. So I was really excited about it. And it's probably the best vegan hot dog I've ever had in my
yeah.
life.
And then just to kind of pile up on on this stuff, the thing I used to love, just adored was adobado or al pastor,
Mm,
which I believe is normally pork.
right.
But like I mentioned a few episodes ago about the Veganito in Grossmont um, Center, there where they have just the bombest, greatest faux al pastor that you can find.
Yeah.
And it's about the seasoning. You don't. Once again,
Yeah.
I just don't feel. I think I can easily say that I won't eat these things again because there's alternatives if I
Right.
really, really want something like that. Now,
Right.
I've never, and you tell me if I'm missing something here. I've seen a few things where they have steaks,
Mm.
plant-based steak. It just doesn't sound appealing to me though.
I've seen some advertisements for it, like on my
Mhm.
Instagram for whatever
Yeah,
reason.
same here.
And I've just scrolled right past it. Yeah, I was like, oh, that's interesting. But then I'm like, I'm good. One, I'll likely be disappointed in it because it's probably not going to taste, same, but maybe it does. And then that's
Mhm.
a problem in itself that
Yeah,
I
what
like
if
it.
it does and you spiral down
Yeah.
that path, and next thing you know, you're just putting raw meat in your gums,
Right,
you know?
right. So yeah,
Just
no, I've stayed away from that too. And I think we both have done that, with the exception of like the events you're talking about, like camping, the bratwurst or whatever, but
mhm.
it's the vegan brats, which I think taste pretty darn good, especially the Italian ones. Those are really good.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Field roast.
There you go. Got
Shout
it.
out to Field Roast. If you want to sponsor, just send us free stuff. We'll mention your name a few more
All
times.
the sausage we can eat.
Yeah, we'll do it every episode.
We
This
would.
episode brought to you by, put your name in there. But we just got to say de Otay. In
Yes.
Casa de Otay, the wonderful coffee shop down in Otay, the Millennia neighborhood of Otay Ranch, you have plant-based alternatives.
Yeah, certainly dairy, right? All the alternative, dairy milks, almond, coconut, and most common popular is oat.
Yeah,
And then, yeah, mo most of our pastries are actually vegan.
yeah. And I think we're coming up on time here, but I do want to mention a couple other things that I kind of got off a long time ago. And number one is lobster,
Ooh.
because I used to have to kill the lobsters, and
Mm.
not just throw in a pot, put. Yeah, I think I talked about this maybe episode one.
You have, yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, and
And
that's probably one of the reasons why I'm off chicken too, because I used to work for Juanita's Chicken. Ugh.
yeah, yeah, I think when if you kind of see, the old expression is you don't want to see how the sausages are made, but
Mhm.
yeah, if you've never actually killed or taken the life of an animal, I don't know, man. I think it does change your perspective, and I think I would have done this a long time ago had I been, I don't know, had I ever visited a slaughterhouse, right?
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
but
Could have.
anyway,
Yeah, but I
okay.
feel good about
On
that. Yeah.
on that note, comment. Let us know. Is there something that you used to like or whatever that you'll never eat again for whatever reason or purpose? Could be, I don't know, chocolate cake. I don't know. Maybe you developed an allergy late in life, like
Hmm.
what was his name? Daryl on The Office developed a soy allergy in his 30s. You know, that's a fictional character, but whatever. Let us
Yeah.
know, comment, like, subscribe, all that. All right. Before we go, Daniel, anything else?
Nothing else except for, maybe last mention, probably not gonna eat eggs, even though sometimes I do
Sorry,
think about them.
sometimes I do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Okay. See ya.
All right, peace.